So yeah, emotional immaturity, growing apart, realizing, you know what, while we were good for each other at one point, I don't think we're really meant to be together at this point. And another big one is just not nurturing the relationship because many times we're just not paying attention.
That's important.
So I found this article by a PsyD. It's a doctor of psychology, but not a PhD. Doesn't matter. And Seth Meyers, he wrote an article on Psychology Today, and he had an interesting question. And he was asking, does love ever die? And even he says that he thinks that if you uh, if you don't believe that even a tiny little bit of that relationship that you may miss, that there's a little bit of love in there, that it's impossible to just love someone and then suddenly not love somebody. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And an interesting thought, and I can get that. So, yeah, what do you think?
It's a very tiny line between hate and love. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it could be, um, but at the same time, it depends of your how you gonna approach to the different situations. And at some point, if you are dealing, and I remember that the previous relationship before you, so we had an agreement, all right? If this doesn't work, we gonna cut every single tie. We don't gonna talk anymore. We never, and we did it, and so that worked really good for both parts, I guess.
Yeah.
I
Well,
hope.
and I think also that it might have something to do with the length of the time that relationship was. You know, do you, how much did you infiltrate your lives, like with kids and all that kind of stuff? Uh, Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Things change when kids are involved.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
that's a factor that change everything.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, and I think because the other question, which is not addressed in this article, but I think also, well, what effect does that have, especially if you don't have kids? If there are kids involved, then you're connected forever. That's goes without saying.